everybody, welcome back to another episode of Simply Susan, where we explore historical sewing, cooking, and living. And today we are in the kitchen, and I have somebody here with me to help. This is my fiance, other half, better half, John. And today we're going to be working together to make a batch of what is called Boilo. Now, from what I have looked into a little bit, looked up a little bit online, Boilo is a traditional holiday drink of the coal region of Pennsylvania, the hard coal region in Schuylkill County and up a little bit north from where I'm at here in Harrisburg. This is something I have heard of vaguely from a few friends, but I've never tried it. The reason that we are making this concoction today, I have a good friend of the family that I want to give a gift to for Christmas, and he's the kind of person that would be happy with anything, but also you want to make sure it's something special. And this person has talked about Boilo before, and I figured that since it's a specific regional thing that I don't know if you'll have access to, I figured we're going to try to make some of this, see how it turns out. But I guess that it's a Lithuanian beverage that was common to that area, that I think was called krupnikas in the Lithuanian. But then it also, because there was a strong Polish influence there, it also was consistent with that heritage as well, and it would be called krupnik, I think, from what I read, in Polish. And it also, I read somewhere that it said the Polish version is a little bit sweeter than the Lithuanian version. The one consistent thing, though, from all of the recipes that I found and from all of the just traditions and lore of this drink that I've seen online, is they stress that the things you use should be economical, right? So they stress that people would use the cheapest liquor they could, just cheap things, because they were frugal people. They were people that were, hardworking and living through hard times, but still wanted to make something nice and good and tasty. And so, yeah, that's the spirit of some of the things that I got. So apparently, because this is a traditional ethnic thing, there's probably as many variations of this as there are of like the pierogies that we made. But the one tradition talks about using this Four Queens blended whiskey. I guess it's made by a very small distillery in New Jersey, and there are some articles that I read that say that the vast majority of the whiskey that is produced by this distillery is purchased by people in the coal region of Pennsylvania that are still making this Boilo. And it's 101 proof. Should be good, right?
Right.
All right, so we're going to get started mixing up our pot of Boilo, and we'll just let you follow along and watch the process. The recipe I'm using is from a website that I found called A Coal Cracker in the Kitchen, and I will link that in the description box down below where I got this from. And it calls for, and we're going to make a triple batch, because in addition to the one friend that I'm making this for primarily, we're going to make it for a couple of other people too. So make sure we multiply everything by 3. It calls for the whiskey, lemons, cinnamon sticks, caraway seeds, whole cloves, whole oranges, honey, raisins, allspice berries, and then ginger ale or orange juice or water. Enough talking, let's start making some Boilo.
What we are working on here is getting the citrus into the pot. So we took all of our citrus fruit, washed the rinds because this will be boiled in with the finished product, and then cut it into quarters and gave it a squeeze. Don't worry about taking out the seeds because you're going to strain this very thoroughly later. For a triple batch, we used 12 whole oranges and 12 whole lemons. After we got all of the citrus fruit cut and squeezed into the pot, we added 6 cups of honey, 6 cinnamon sticks, 6 tablespoons of dark raisins, and then the spices I added just a little bit differently. That's what I'm doing here, even though my back is to you. That is what I'm working on. I should have put a tablespoon of caraway seeds, a tablespoon of allspice berries, 36 cloves into this mix. I went a little bit scant on the caraway and cloves because I had some people tell me that those can be overpowering. I also added in a little bit of black peppercorns, whole peppercorns, because I saw numerous other recipes that called for that. So I probably put in about a tablespoon. After adding all of the citrus and spices, I put in a 2-liter bottle of ginger ale and 1 quart of water.
So we have our pot on the stove and just supposed to bring it up to a boil and then let it simmer for about 20-25 minutes. Make sure everything's combined in there. And I guess that gets the rest of the juice and flavor out of the fruit and out of the rind and everything, and helps all of those spices kind of open up and do whatever it's happening in here. And then once it boils and simmers for a while, we take it off the heat, let it cool down, and then add the whiskey.
After the Boilo cooled for a little bit on the stove, we then had to strain out all of the fruit and spices. So we poured it through this large colander, and then we poured it back through some cheesecloth. Basically, we just made a giant mess everywhere because it was really sticky from all of the honey and the soda, and it was still probably a little bit too warm, but we got it done. And now that we boiled everything, strained everything, it's time to add the good stuff. For a triple batch, 3 bottles of only the finest quality 4 Queens whiskey. After all of that hard work, we figured that we should try a taste of the concoction that we made. I spooned a little bit out, and it was still pretty warm. Just a little bit more than room temperature, I'd say. The taste was really good. It still is definitely strong, but the combination with the honey and spices and the citrus really takes the edge off of the bite of the whiskey. It was a very nice drink that I definitely think is one that you could sip on and have a great evening with. I read somewhere that there was some legend or some folk story of some sort that it said the first drink will always be given, the second will be considered, and the third is usually denied. I think meaning that by the time you've had 1 or 2 of this drink, you have probably had your fair share.
Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us as we... Let's try again. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us as we made 7.5 jars of Boilo, which is the champagne of the coal region and the drink of the Lithuanian and Polish immigrants to the Schuylkill County area of Pennsylvania. So thank you for coming along with us on this journey. Thank you for choosing to spend some of your time with me. And Nostrovia?
Nostrovia.
Bye.